it, the final race of the inaugural season in the Stop Motion Cup Series. 4 drivers still have an opportunity to win the ultimate prize, the championship. 1 driver to rule them all. 1 driver to beat them. 1 driver to bring them all, and in disappointment bind them. This is what must happen today. 1 driver leaves the greatest prize possible, and 3 leave, possibly with never another chance to win the championship. Here are your ones to watch in today's race, also known as just the Championship 4, and where to find them. Denny Hamlin starts 3rd in today's race. Busch qualifies 6th. Carl Edwards has qualified 9th. And in last place amongst the playoff drivers, Jimmie Johnson is starting in 12th place. So he's going to have some serious ground to make up in order to get towards the front. Here's your starting lineup for today's race. On row 1 we have Tony Stewart and Martin Truex Jr. Row 2, Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski. Row 3, Sam Hornish Jr. and Kurt Busch. Row 4, Eric Almirola and Greg Biffle. Row 5, Carl Edwards and Dave Blaney. Row 6, Joey Logano and Jimmie Johnson. Row 7, Kevin Harvick and Matt Kenseth. Row 8, Ryan Newman and Kyle Busch. Row 9, Michael McDowell and Matt DiBenedetto. Row 10, Trevor Bayne and Casey Mears. Row 11, Clint Bowyer, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Row 12, Ty Dillon and Landon Castle. Row 13, Brett Moffitt and Austin Dillon. Row 14, AJ Allmendinger, Jamie McMurray. Row 15, David Gilliland, Alex Bowman. Row 16, Casey Kane, Paul Menard. Row 17, Cole Witt and Danica Patrick. Row 18, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and David Reagan. Row 19, Justin Allgaier and Jeff Gordon. Row 20, Kyle Larson and Michael Annett. Row 21, Bobby Labonte, Jeb Burton. Row 22, starting last, J.J. Ailey. Here are your keys to today's race. There's 15 laps in the race today. It's the championship race, and this will be the last time you may see some of these drivers in a sanctioned SMCS event. Green flag is out here in the championship race at Homestead Miami Speedway. Let's find out who our champion is. Alrighty, we're going 3 wide up front as Denny Hamlin makes an aggressive move around Tony Stewart. It appears that Tony Stewart will lead the first lap after managing to get in front of Martin Truex Jr. on the outside line. And it looks like we're going to have a wreck on the front stretch. Justin Allgaier, his final race in that H. Scott car, comes to an end on lap 2 in the wall. Here's your replay of the incident. It looks like he just drifted up into Michael McDowell. There, nothing much that could, not Michael McDowell, Michael Annett. Not much that could be done there about the situation. Just lucky enough for drivers like Jeb Burton, though they didn't get involved in that wreck. So this will be the end of the race for Justin Allgaier and his sponsors for this season. Here is your lane selection, the final first one of the race for this season, and probably ever, as I don't plan on doing a full-out choose rule for Season 2. Here's your sponsor for this week's race, Kason 21. The link for that YouTube channel will be in the description. Anyways, back to going racing again. Here in the championship race on lap 4, a green flag is out once again. Will this be the final restart of the season, or will it not? Let's find out. There's already championship 4 drivers, Kurt Busch and Carl Edwards, are making some aggressive moves. Martin Truex Jr. is really falling like a rock down the middle there, as Denny Hamlin still is managing to maintain control over Tony Stewart. As it looks like now, though, Kurt Busch will actually be challenging Tony Stewart for that second spot. So we go on board with Denny Hamlin here as we come to start at lap 6. Third of the way through this race now, as Jeff Gordon's final ride, the 24 car, is going to go up in smoke. One of the most consistent drivers all season eventually succumbs to an engine failure in the finale. So we have championship 4 drivers here now, Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin, battling side by side with Carl Edwards just behind them. Jimmie Johnson a little further back. He's still stuck behind the Penske teammates of Logano and Keselowski. It looks like Carl Edwards is going to go 3 wide now. 3 wide with championship 4 drivers through turns 3 and 4. It looks like Denny Hamlin's going to lead the lap, but Carl Edwards is going to try to make a pass on him here. He won't be able to clear him through the corner, and it looks like they'll once again be side by side going into the corners. Will Carl Edwards be able to clear him here? No, he won't. Outside line still manages to keep Denny Hamlin close enough. And Jimmie Johnson wrecks! Championship 4 driver Jimmie Johnson gets turned by Logano going down the front stretch. We'll have to see how exactly this thing took place here in the replays. No, actually it looks like he came over into Matt Kenseth. Bit hard to tell those yellow cars there for a second, but it was Matt Kenseth who wound up being involved in the wreck with Jimmie Johnson, as Jimmie Johnson managed to try to pull across and clear himself in front of Matt Kenseth, but instead will be ending his championship hopes. His hopes of getting that 7th championship. He'll now be out of the race alongside his teammate Jeff Gordon and Justin Allgaier. So we see all championship 4 drivers still in this race are going to be taking the top 3 spots for the restart here nearing the end of the race. Here's your race recap for the race so far. On lap 1, we began the race that will determine who wins the championship in our final race of this season. Then on lap 2, Justin Allgaier got up into Michael Annett and then got up into the wall. He was the first driver to be out of the race. And then on lap 6, Jeff Gordon blew his engine, ending his career here in the SMCS, quite frankly with a bang, just not the one he wanted. And on lap 10, just now, championship 4 driver Jimmie Johnson wrecked on the front stretch, trying to clear himself in front of Matt Kenseth, but was nowhere near clear. Alright, 4 more laps remain in this race. Green flag is out once more. Let's find out who our champion is. So we have Carl Edwards trying to clear Denny Hamlin out of the corner, but he will not be able to do so. Kurt Busch looks like he's trying to line himself up for a pass going into one of the corners. Trying to get some gains here on Carl Edwards. He's going to be side by side with Denny Hamlin as Carl Edwards manages to clear Denny Hamlin after Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin get side by side. But then now Carl Edwards gets shoved down the middle with 2 to go. This might be it for Carl Edwards' championship hopes if he can't get past this side by side duo of Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin. But Carl Edwards makes a move down the inside of Kurt Busch. Now Kurt Busch is going down the middle. And just like that, Carl's back in it. Denny Hamlin, the driver who has dominated this race, is still holding the outside line. This is it. 2 more corners. Side by side, teammates. Kurt Busch goes 3 wide. Carl Edwards wins the race and the championship. You saw nothing there. Carl Edwards is our Season 1 champion. Here's the replay of the finish. So we have here on our final lap, Carl Edwards managed to put on a masterful move in turns 3 and 4 just before they came to the white flag, getting past Kurt Busch. Then he managed to get just enough momentum coming off the inside line to hold off both Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch at the line. Here's the official results for today's race. Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Joey Logano were your top 5. Further back in the pack, we had a few drivers that were fairly significant in the season, like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Brad Keselowski finishing a little further down. And then, as it seems, Jimmie Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Justin Allgaier, our DNFs. Here are the final point standings for this season. Ryan Blaney wound up being the worst finishing of the playoff drivers. However, since he is a rookie, I think it's pretty safe to say that's expectable. A good season for him, in fact. More drivers that had fairly decent seasons. AJ Allmendinger managed to recover from being down in like the top 30s. At one point, managed to finish 28th in the season. And in the final 2 spots, Alex Bowman and Regan Smith, the part-time drivers of the number 7 car this year. Congratulations to Carl Edwards and his sponsors. Season 2 will be dropping sometime soon. I'll have a video explaining some stuff about that at some point or another this summer. It's going to be complicated. That's all I'm going to say now. Hope you enjoyed this race. Hope you enjoyed this season. Hopefully having some more cars from a newer season will make it even more exciting next time.